Now, we will demonstrate installing wallpaper with pattern seamlessly. You can identify the pattern matching symbol on the description of the wallpaper packaging. First, we will unbox the wallpaper. Crop the wallpaper based on the length of the wall. Here's a tip for you. You can refer to episode 4 for this procedure. However, we need to pay attention to the wallpaper pattern. They must match perfectly. We need to match the other panels to the initially cropped wallpaper. After the patterns are aligned, the excess wallpaper can be trimmed off. These trimmed wallpapers can be kept for us later. If there's no cloth or mat available when applying glue, you can use these extra wallpapers as the underlying mat. After the glue mixture is applied onto the wallpaper is ready to be installed. Please refer to the 6th episode to learn more about wallpaper installation. When installing the second panel, pay attention to the pattern. You must perfectly align the pattern to the border. Do not put too much pressure when adjusting the pattern. Move the wallpaper gently, otherwise the wallpaper will tear easily. Before the pattern above is aligned properly, do not fixate the wallpaper first. After the pattern is aligned perfectly, only then the wallpaper is pasted firmly. You can then slowly align the pattern from top to bottom. After the patterns are aligned, you can remove the excess wallpaper. Clean with a wet sponge. Use a Bristol brush to push out the air pockets. And use a roller to work on the seams. Simply put that the most important thing when dealing with wallpapers with patterns is the pattern matching. The next episode will demonstrate how to install wallpaper around doors. Now, we will show you how to install wallpaper on the door wall. First, put the wallpaper on the wall. Sweep out the air pockets, and then we can start the trimming. Determine the position of the door and cut off the excess wallpaper with a blade. Make a diagonal cut from the corner of the door to allow the wallpaper to be fixed around the door. Flatten the wallpaper with a scraper. Cut off the excess with a blade and then clean it with a damp sponge. The next part is the same. Flatten it with a squeegee. Cut it with a blade and clean with a wet sponge. After this, the installation around the door wall is completed. In the next episode, we will guide you on how to install wallpaper around the air conditioner. Now, we will demonstrate how to paste wallpaper on the wall with air conditioner. To install wallpaper around an air conditioner, we need to trim it according to the size of the air conditioner, as in the case of the switch socket in episode 6. Use a scraper to tuck the wallpaper tightly into the air conditioner seam and then cut the excess wallpaper with a blade. Each side of the air conditioner is completed in the same way. The next episode will teach you how to install wallpaper around the window frame. Now, I will demonstrate on how to install wallpaper around the window. The recessed edge around the window will need a particular installation method. We will use the wallpaper with pattern for this demonstration, so that we can handle all types of situations. Firstly, paste the wallpaper on the wall and trim off the excess. Then, we start the trimming around the window. We need to reserve some extra space for the window position. After trimming, you can paste the wallpaper around the window, and you will find that the wallpaper can't completely cover the entire window sides. So, we put the wallpaper on the window first. Then, cut the excess wallpaper with the blade. Leave some blank space at the top and bottom. In order to fill this space, we need to find a pattern that matches the blank area from the extra wallpaper. After the matching pattern is found, the needed pattern size can be cut out, and the size needs to be larger than the blank space. The purpose of this is to reserve extra space for trimming. After the two small pieces of wallpaper are used to fill the blanks are glued, the filling works can be carried out. Let's start with the bottom part. Align the patterns, flatten the wallpaper with a scraper, then paste the wallpaper to the blank space and cut off the remaining. Next, we're going to do a double cut. Double cut is a cutting technique to remove the two layers of wallpaper at the same time. So before making a double cut, you must make sure that the blade is razor sharp. Stabilize the wallpaper with a wall putty blade. Then use the blade to cut the wallpaper according to the blank space. You must ensure that the two layers of wallpaper are cut all together. Note that the size of the trimmed wallpaper cannot be larger than the blank space. The purpose of this is to make sure that there's extra layering between the wallpapers, so that the wallpapers can be pasted firmly on the wall. Trim off the excess wallpaper off the top layer, and then discard the lower layer. You can use a roller to touch up. The blank space above is also handled the same way. After aligning the patterns, flatten them with a scraper. Then, paste the wallpaper to the blank space and cut off the excess wallpaper. Do a double cut. After the blank space is filled in, the tutorial on the recessed wall of the window is complete. Next, I will demonstrate on how to install wallpaper on the corner wall. This is a corner wall. This is the outer corner and the inner corner. The outer corner is called the outer L, and the inner corner is called the inner L. We will use wallpaper with pattern to guide you on how to install wallpaper on the corner wall. Let's start with the demonstration for inner L. Because the wallpaper needs to be installed across the inner L, we will separate the wallpaper at the corners. Let's paste the wallpaper firmly from above, and the rest will be installed much easier. Once the wallpaper is firmly pasted, you can trim the wallpaper along the corner. After the trimming is done, we need to make a mark on the wallpaper spot so that it will not be pasted wrongly. Take down the wallpaper that you have just pasted and stick it carefully once more. Take note that the excess wallpaper pattern at the inner L seam must be trimmed, so that the inner L part will look better. The wallpaper across the outer L is easier to work with. Fix the upper wallpaper directly and align the pattern. Brush out the air pockets, cut the excess wallpaper, and then press the roller firmly to join the seams. Once inner L and outer L are done, I'll show you the extra 1mm buffering technique. If the wallpaper does not go across the outer L, you'll need to use the extra 1mm buffering technique. If you don't buffer an extra 1mm after pasting the wallpaper can be pried open easily. But if you do leave an extra 1mm buffer, the wallpaper will not be easily pried open. First, use the wall putty blade to hold it firmly. Make sure the blade is sharp. And then, cut along the side roughly 1mm in. The size needs to be determined approximately. Not too thin, not too thick, because size matters. No matter how you touch the corner, it won't be pried open. The next episode will demonstrate tips and techniques for installing wallpaper. Now to guide you through some tips for installing wallpaper. First will be about the skirting of the wall. Some customers will want to have wallpaper on the skirting. Working with the skirting is very simple. When the wallpaper is installed onto the skirting, use the scraper to flatten it. Then, use the bristle brush to sweep out the air. Make sure that the blade is sharp. Cut the excess wallpaper with the blade along the wall. The skirting is done. The second is about walls with inconsistent heights. When encountering these types of walls, we should not use the shortest height as the standard, but the highest. The third is when there's an object nailed to the wall. We need to remove the object on the wall first. Paste the wallpaper. And then install it back.